Today, I want to talk about something that professionals sometimes parade as if it's an achievement, and that's burnout. You're resentful of the fact that you're tired and exhausted and drained, but it's a badge of honor because it shows that you're working really hard and you're really dedicated. And you get that from the late nights, you get that from skipping lunch, not taking breaks, not taking your annual leave, thinking that you'll rest after the project is over, constantly having to prove yourself and over delivering. And we normalize exhaustion in corporate as if it's part of your job description. But burnout, that feeling of being exhausted and drained, is not a mark of dedication. It's a warning sign. And many times we do more hoping that it's going to be noticed, and it's not, because the amount of effort you put in is not how your value is measured. So today I'm going to break down why you keep heading towards burnout and how you can stop that cycle. So let's have a chat. So how do we end up getting burnt out? Because it doesn't just hit us all at once. It's a slow erosion. It's saying yes when you really want to say no. It's taking on another project, another task when you already have your plate full. It's being the one who's reliable, dependable, the fixer, the one who always has the answers, the one who always covers for everyone else. And I know that one too well. I remember when I was an officer and covering multiple caseloads for my colleagues who were off sick. And I just kept going, even though I was handling more than I should have. The receptionist knew and would say that if everybody else said no, she knew that I would say yes. Yeah, that was me. And then becoming a manager and leading my team and then taking on tasks for other managers. Yeah, that was me as well. And when you do finally get to rest, you start feeling guilty, or you're looking around thinking, this feels a bit strange, I should be doing something. And what happens is that over time, your boundaries dissolve, your energy drains away, and your identity becomes attached to how much you can produce. And the issue is that corporate praises high performers, but the reward is more work, more tasks than you can handle. And because you're capable, you'll continue to say yes, you will continue to be piled on, and it becomes a punishment rather than an accomplishment. And so one of the things that I learned the hard way, as you can imagine, is that you will be overused until you break. And I've seen colleagues go off on sick leave who are sadly no longer walking this earth with us and be replaced in a week. I always said corporate treats its staff like light bulbs. You go out, you're easily replaced. And so we have to remember that being strong doesn't mean that you have to work yourself to the point of exhaustion. And being dedicated doesn't mean that you have to keep going until your energy is depleted, and you don't have to be available 24/7. And what happens to those people who are dependable, who are reliant, who always say yes, who are always upfront, never say no to any task? You are the ones who will become burnt out more often, and you can quickly go from being the star of the office to the next HR statistic, because it doesn't matter how much energy you put in. When your health starts getting affected, you'll be taken down the route of policies, and none of what you did previously will matter. So we need to look at how you prevent burnout. And the first way is to set and maintain boundaries. And so individually, you need to look at where you slip up when it comes to your boundaries. You say that you've got boundaries, but where is it that people can jump over, slip under, and get to you? And you find yourself saying yes when you really need to say no? Is it answering emails after hours? Is it working late into the night? Is it logging on at weekends when you really need to be spending time with yourself or your family? So setting boundaries will look like not answering those emails outside of work hours. It would look like taking your lunch away from your desk and actually taking your lunch, because a lot of the times we slip up on those boundaries by working through our lunch and not taking it at all. So put your lunch hours in your diary and physically get up and move away from your desk. And if you're sitting in the lunchroom, or if you feel that you need to go sit in your car to be away, just have that time as sacred and for yourself, so that you can have a breather and time to recoup. Learn to say no. And that looks like this would need to go to somebody else because I don't have the capacity to do this. I had colleagues who would slip things into my diary because they saw spaces. And what you need to do is put your spaces in your diary when you need time for yourself to think, to read, to prep. Because any white spaces in your diary can be fair game if you work in an environment where people feel that they can commandeer your time. And when you do get time to rest, if you do have a half an hour, a day off, you're able to leave early, your lunch breaks, do not feel guilty for resting. If you're always on call, that's not healthy. You need time to rest. You need that headspace so that you can come back and be fresh afterwards. So set boundaries that honor your energy, not just your workload. Secondly, you want to regulate your nervous system. Tap into how you're feeling throughout the day. What times during the day do you have higher energy levels? What times during the day do you feel your energy depleting? And work with your system. Take breaks when you need to. If you've had a really difficult meeting, get up, leave the office, go for a walk and get some fresh air. Offices will give you those health and safety briefings that tell you that you need to get up and move and get away from your desk every so often. Adhere to those, use those, implement them, because your body needs that break. Our bodies were not made to be sitting in an adrenaline-filled space for 8 hours. That is not healthy. So take your micro breaks every 90 minutes or so. Get up, move, get fresh air, drink some water, disconnect from your laptop, have buffer times before and after meetings so that you can recoup. And number 3, reconnect to your identity outside of work. You are more than your role. You are more than your performance review. Then you stop attaching yourself so firmly to this role, to this title, and you stop sacrificing yourself for it. If that role or title was gone tomorrow, who would you be? So what do you do outside of work? What are you sacrificing on the weekends because you're dreading Monday coming up? What hobbies are you no longer pursuing? What people are you no longer seeing? Reconnecting with joy and what fills you up is a really good burnout prevention strategy. So in order to be successful, you don't need to be burnt out and look like you've been dragged through a bush backwards. You deserve to have a life, not just a career. And if this video resonated, I'd love to hear what small step you'll implement to protect your energy this week. Because when you choose your well-being, you choose your freedom. So until the next video, bye.